Welcome to DubLife Diaries, the podcast where passion meets the open road. I'm Joe Person, your host and also a lifelong dubber. Buckle up because this ride is just beginning. This podcast is sponsored by Volksmania magazine. Good times, great cars, awesome Volksmaniacs. Visit Volksmania.com to learn more about this class-leading VW magazine. Welcome back to DubLife Diaries. I'm excited for this one because, well, it's kind of a wild one. All right, a couple wins, a Volkswagen bus at a casino, brings it home as kind of this novelty situation, and then there's one guy who's always wanted a Volkswagen his entire life. He tells these folks, if you ever want to sell that thing, call me. And eventually that call comes through. So what starts as this kind of beat up bus, and when I say beat up, I mean it. As the story has it, there was duct tape holding the tire stems on just to try to make it to the gas station when he first picked this thing up. Turns into something a lot bigger than anybody could have ever expected, all right? That one bus now leads a whole new life and a whole new community, and eventually turned into one of the most meaningful Volkswagen shows in the country, who raises money for kids who have been through things most of us can't even imagine. Kyle Badertscher, welcome to DubLife Diaries.
Man, it's good to talk with you. That's for sure. I've been excited about it. Been watching your other videos, and they're awesome. It's a fun culture that you're bringing to the rest of the world.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I can tell this one's going to be a fun one. Thank you for registering. I've said this. You've probably heard me say it on other episodes before. One of the hardest things for me to do is find guests, and it's not that we don't have stories to tell. We do, all of us, great stories to tell. It's a lot of folks in the community. They don't want to be on camera. They don't want to, they might think that because now I have all these other folks that come on and stuff, they might think that, I don't know, that I'm going to ask them some questions they can't control or just, something, but really not the case at all, right? I keep it professional. I keep it, I make sure you guys are prepared. I send you all the questions in advance. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get back to you. Before I dive into tonight's awesome episode, I do want to give a shout out to a couple of my sponsors. First up on the list, Volksmania magazine. You guys know how I feel. These guys are the flyest VW magazine on the face of the planet. Check these guys out, Volksmania.com. You can use DubLife10 at checkout. That's DUBLIFE, the number 10, and you'll get 10% off your subscription. That's only U.S. subscribers. How cool is it that I have to say that? Because I got people from outside in other countries trying to use that discount code. Let's go. That's cool, right? All right, next up on the list, Salty Dub. From the beach to the bay, Salty Dub is tearing up the coastal VW scene with epic events and swag. We just wrapped up one of our awesome events last Sunday. We had I think there was about 180. There was about 180 when we counted, but there was some that had already left. Anyway, about 180 cars showed up, V-dubs over the Skyway. This was the 27th annual ride over the Skyway Bridge. You spent some time in St. Pete, so you know what the Skyway Bridge is. Awesome ride. Awesome time. Great turnout. We saw some really cool things, and then we had a really cool car show and some really epic handmade trophies that are made by my buddy Alan, who owns the next shout out that I'm going to give. Vera Upholstery of St. Pete. These guys are doing big things inside the marine industry and have a new automotive line for interiors. So boat interiors, automotive interiors, not just Volkswagens, but when we talk about Volkswagens, just the couple that he did right before Bug Jam, he did that 73 thing that won its best in class. And the interior is so sick. The stitching on the side of the seats are stitched in the VW logo. Yeah, right? Okay. All right. Enough of my sponsors. Enough of the shout outs. Back to you, my brother. Back to you. Before we get into Volkswagens and start talking a little bit about your past or your history, tell me, who is Kyle Badertscher?
If I ever figure it out, I'll call you back and give you better details. Kyle's a big kid. He's somebody, man, I've done a lot of moving over the years. I was born in Ohio, Northern Ohio, spent time there, like I told you earlier, I spent 2 years in St. Petersburg, back up to Michigan, back to Ohio. And then about 85, I moved out here to Oklahoma. I'm about 20 miles north of Tulsa, little town called Collinsville. Literally old school town. The road in front of my house is still cobblestone.
Whoa,
So
that's
yeah,
really
it's a
cool.
small community, no industry. We're about to get swallowed by, we're like a housing addition for another town's all we are. Um, I've lived what my mom always said, I was the guy that was from the different generation. I've lived that hippie lifestyle my entire life.
Okay.
And, I was always one, you see that Volkswagen, it turned my head, it shocked me. But I've always been, my mom raised me the same way I got two daughters, and I raised them with the golden rule. You treat others as you want to be treated, the world should be a good place. And, to me, I always got that vibe from the Volkswagen culture, even before I was in it. And then once I got in it, about 12, 13 years ago is all I've been in it. I have a habit of, when I jump into something, I jump into it head first and let's see how fast we can go.
I like that. I'm the same way, actually.
So no, man, I started doing charity work when I was a little kid. First thing I did was ride my bicycle in a St. Jude's bike-a-thon. It's the first thing I remember doing. And I kept doing stuff. I work with an organization called cancersucks.com. And, we raise money for cancer research. Been doing that for 26 years. We're the ones that are covered with tattoos and piercings and hair. And, it doesn't have to be a suit and tie to raise money.
Right.
The walks are there, but we do the concerts, the bike rallies, and that's where I started getting into car shows. My mentor that was over there that threw me in head first and told me, go do this, go do that. And I just kept doing it to the point where, where I'm at today, where I'm putting on my own events. And now with the Oklahoma Firefighter Burn Camp, my best friend founded it 27 years ago now.
Wow.
And got me involved with it. And he's like, dude, you've got to come over here. And it's one of those things, you walk into it and you see, my first year, I think there was 52 kids ages 6 to 16 and that had been burned or disfigured.
Whoa.
And, it takes your breath away. Just like you said, it's something especially as a parent, you wish that never happens. It scares you, and I got in it and I'm like, dude, this is where I need to be. I mean, I instantly got the cry off. I got my kid, and it's a one-on-one camp. So I started out as a counselor. When you show up on Wednesday afternoon, you're giving this kid, that kid's yours, night, day, everything, till Sunday when the mom and her dad come and pick her up, or him. And I did that for a couple of years. The craziest part, I'm one of the only ones that I know of with camp over all these years. 3 years into camp, my daughter got burned. So we were the Girl Scout parents. We had a cookout, the fire pit in the backyard. 2 days later, she stepped in to get a soccer ball, and the coals wrapped both feet. Third-degree burns wrapped both feet.
Dang.
So here we are. I'm going to the burn center with these nurses that I work with at the camp every year. My daughter's not quite 5 years old, or about 5 years old.
Oh.
And they're like, we get her through everything. We do what we need to do. And camp comes around and was like, where's your daughter? She can be here, right? She needs to be here. Never even crossed my mind. That wasn't even on my radar. And I tell people all the time, you have that moments in life when your kids just blow you away. Your first one, you get them, you're excited. They start walking, they're out of diapers, they're feeding themselves, then they're yelling at you. You graduate high school, that's a big thing. So my daughter, at the age of 16, got to be counselor or camper of the year at camp. The following year, she turned around and got to be a counselor. Oh, and she's now a mentor, and she was helping with the kids. So it was one of those, you do something right if that's what they want to do. At that point, they're choosing. And my youngest is the same way. Man, she's the girl that is constantly helping. Like I said, she's traveled all over with me and Bonnie, my bus, my 70 Bay. And we've done so much. We would travel through downtown Tulsa and pass out water and stuff to the homeless out of Bonnie. And they've always been there. They've supported me. I'm dad, and they know that that's what we're going to do. So, then here I am, about to be 55 years old. I've worked with the Oklahoma Gas Company now 24 years.
Wow.
So,
Were you always into cars or?
man, I've always quite the opposite. I didn't own a car until I was 27 years old. So I went to college. I made a career out of it, 7 years. I mean, you see me in this mirror, and you see me. I'm 300 pounds, 5'9", covered with tattoos, kind of crazy looking. I was an all American. I was an all American college cheerleader. The movies down on Daytona, where you see the competition.
Yeah.
I've been on that stage 3 times on ESPN.
Get out of here, man.
No, man, it was right place, right time. Has been most of my life.
Okay.
I went to a cheerleading tryout straight out of high school, and the lady's like, "You need to try this." Now, you're talking back in '89 to '90. That wasn't a big thing like it is now. And I was used to wrestling guys my size. Well, you pick up a little girl that weighed $120, I look like He-Man.
Right.
Made my way through college. Spent 5 years doing that full ride, and then one day I'm sitting in art class, and a guy come in, and I ended up with a full ride for theater. Started doing set designs.
Oh, sweet, dude.
Yep. So, right place, right time, and then 29 settled down, started having kids, and like I said, I chased Volkswagens my whole life. And
yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that, where I was saying I was a car guy. But that's so remember it from your history. You didn't even get Bonnie till you were what, 40?
Yep.
Yeah,
I was about 41, 42.
So let's
right in that span.
let's talk about that moment for a second, because we're right here in the timeline.
Yeah.
It's your first Volkswagen. You chased them. You always wanted one. You knew you kind of belonged in the culture. Just kind of tell us this story. Tell us the full story of Bonnie the bus.
So back to the burn camp that everything's originated from. Guy I met through there is a retired firefighter. Great man. Him and his wife, Gail and Tom, they won this thing at a casino at a Woodstock reunion tour. The local radio station was giving it away. The story was that it was from Huntington Beach. They got it off of a guy that was living out of it, selling sandals out of the back of it on a beach. Now, whether the story's true or not, you never know. You know how that goes. But all the paperwork from Huntington Beach. It's house paint, layers upon layers. There's so much Bondo on the nose of this bay, you can't even stick a magnet on it.
No way.
So, yeah, it's great. But it was super clean paint on the top layer, and they won it. She was upset. She was like, I couldn't have even won a Cadillac. We had to win this bus. What are we going to do with it? It's set in their backyard. So, people would go over there. He's got a nice little bar on the back porch, and everybody would go over and see this bus, and they're like, oh, that's so cool, blah, 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 blah. And that was about it. He drove it. He had it like 3 years and maybe drove it 50 miles.
Wow.
So it just sat there.
Yeah.
It ran, had 2 front seats in it, a back bench, and a lawn chair. That's all that was in it. Indoor, outdoor, green carpet all the way through. The radio station had to put some aftermarket seat belts in it to do regulations to give it away from the state. And I'm like, just like you were saying, I told him, I was like, look, I've got a connection with this thing. If you want to get rid of it, I truly want it. Well, Tom, after he retired from firefighting, would go to Mexico every year and teach fire class down there. And his wife, Gail, come to me and said, are you serious? You really want this thing? I said, man, you have no clue. She goes, I need this amount of money to redo the bathroom. You want to give me this? The bus is yours. I redo the bathroom for Tom while he's gone. I said, I'll be there in 20 minutes.
Yeah, but
my brother called me. I called my brother and I said, let's go. We're going to go pick up that bus. We go to get it. Tires are half dry rotted. The closest place that had tires that would fit it, and they were 14s, was a Sam's warehouse about 5 miles away. In the valve stems, we pumped them up. Like I said, we had to carry an air compressor in the back of my brother's truck. We had to stop twice, air up the tires. I pull it in there, and I'm like, look, I need tires. I called you. You said you had them. Yep, we got them right here. It'd take us about 30 minutes. We'll have you all set up. So we walked over, got us a drink, and the deal, we get back, and this guy's pissed at me. The mechanic. Dude is so mad. He goes, "You got ripped off." He goes, "I got the tires on there, but we had to push it. This thing doesn't have reverse." I'm like, "Oh, yes, it does. You've never driven a Volkswagen, have you?" I got in it, pushed it down, drove it out, and he just started cussing. He was screaming. And like I said, got in it at that point, drove it off. At that point, it had a single port 1600, pretty stock engine. Um, Interior was, like I said, that roof rack that's on there right now was half that width, and not one sticker on it, no nothing, and paint looked good. I drove it home and literally sat in it, I think, for 24 hours because I was just at awe.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's about where it was.
They say that there's something about old VWs, right? They're just not really like other cars. So saying that, I believe you. I've done that too. I've gotten one home and I just had to sit in it and just look around, like we did it, I got it. It was, whatever the victory was or whatever that feeling is that it promotes. Do you think people connect with these cars, I guess, emotionally more than they do other modern cars?
I truly believe it. I
Yeah.
mean, I've been going to car shows for a long time. And yeah, I mean, so you go into a culture, you see a car show, and I always giggle, the traditional car show, you go, you polish, you put your lawn chair out, you make one path around the whole thing, and you sit, and you've got your different cars, and it's a stereotype for sure. I mean, in a crowd, you can pick out the guy driving a Corvette, and you can pick out the guy driving this. I mean, he's dressed a certain way, and
Yeah.
this and that. But the Volkswagen, it's funny because the stories are always a little different. I mean, I can ride with whoever I want, but if I pull into a gas station in this bus, the amount of people that walk up to me and they're like, "Man, my first car was this. My aunt had one of these. When I was 12, we drove across the country in this." You don't get that in a Cadillac. You don't get that in even a Mustang or something on that line. And then as an owner, you feel it in. I always tell people the first 2 years I owned this bus was for me. And then ever since then, it's for the stories and everybody else. Because, yeah, the love for them is amazing. And I tease my saying for the Volkswagen for Bonnie is that you're either laughing with me or at me, but at least you're laughing.
Yeah.
Bottom line, you're a happy man.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Now you said in your storyline that you only stopped driving this car when it broke down, right? So how often are we talking here?
Yeah. As you see in that picture, there's a jack under the front of it right there. So I've been blessed to the point where it's broke down only close to home.
Okay.
I drive on an average probably anywhere from 7 to 10,000 miles a year.
So this is
Uh,
pretty much a daily driver.
Correct. I mean, there's a sticker in the front window that says that. Yes, this is my daily driver. Uh,
Yes, man.
it breaks down quite often. I'll be honest with you. This motor, I'm running a 2110 now, dual port Cadrons, and I got tired of everybody waving with one finger as they tried to pass me going up hills. So this one now will do the speed limit. I can go on a turnpike if I need to, but no, it's went down. It's been down now for a month. I'm replacing all the brakes. The e-brakes snapped on me. I've been through 4 motors in 12 years. Most of them were upgrades. Um, Last year, I drove out to Havasu for Buses by the Bridge.
Oh yes.
That was a must go.
Yeah.
5 of us left from buddy from St. Louis, Springfield. They met us here in Tulsa. We spent 3 days driving out with 4 other guys, and my 70 was the newest of the 5 buses that ran out there. Most of the guys I run with, I'm blessed. They've taught me a lot on how to keep her running.
Yeah.
They believe that you drive a bus, you don't tow a bus unless you have to.
Very
So,
cool.
yeah, that's what we do. But yeah, the culture, they definitely love their buses or cars. I have never seen anybody name their vehicle as much or have a passionate love for the smallest thing. They'll put a doll in the back window, and that's part of dressing their family member up, I feel.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, totally. And to hear you say that. Speaking on community for a second though. So you're 40 when you get this bus. How long is it before the VW community is actually introduced into your life after you get the bus?
So Facebook, I started looking for parts, and you start thumbing through the Volkswagen S, and there was a local club that was here, and I met a guy. I was looking for a rearview mirror. Little did I know I'd finally get it, and really couldn't see out the back window anyway, so it's kind of useless. But yeah, that was probably 6 months, maybe within 5, 6 months before I met my first group. And at that point, I'm sitting on the floor in somebody else's shop, and I'm learning how to take the pans off a beetle, and I'm people I've never met before in my life. I'm sleeping on their couch. I'm doing stuff with them. And I went to my first car show as a Volkswagen show. And I have a tendency to win kids' choice or sponsors' choice. It's not, I very rarely get best paint job or
Right.
most original. Those are usually the two I don't get very often. So, yeah, very quick, I joined into the community, and the community here in the Midwest. Uh, I'm in the northeast corner of Oklahoma, so we do a lot with Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, and the shows up here. Texas comes up. The biggest show, around here is in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, last weekend in August.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sick.
it's a big show. Yeah, and there's 3 shows there now. So I mean, there's on any given year there could be 700 to 900 Volkswagens in town.
I
You
just
know,
I just heard about that show in Eureka, and honestly, man, I got the goosebumps just listening to, the meaning behind it, the history, the culture behind it, and then the amount of cars that show up and the amount of people that come into that town for this Volkswagen event it just blew me away. And then to hear, was it either day 2 or day 3 of the event? They drive to all the local nursing homes. Uh,
yeah.
or we don't need to say nursing homes, maybe it's not politically correct, but all the old folks that might be, somewhat disabled, they bring the show cars to them and let them come out and have those same, stories that we all feel when we pull into the gas station, right?
Oh yeah.
Where everybody can tell their stories. But yeah, man, awesome to hear. So I got a question for you about the Volkswagen community because now you're ingrained, you've been in it for, over 10 years. That's long enough to really understand and know. What do you think? Why do you think, I guess would be a better question, the VW community is different than other car culture communities?
Maybe just a group of people, and I say that I mean, I correct myself because all cultures. It's funny, you go into a meet and people. If you're anything like me, I can go to a show. I may not remember your name, but I know what car you drive and I know what it looks like and so forth. I meet so many people over the year. But as far as why we are the way we are, I want to say it goes back just to the stereotype of the hippie era, maybe the culture of love, because very rarely am I going to be on the side of the road and not 5 people are going to pull over. I'll get a call from somebody. Look, I just heard that you're broke down here. Now, me, I get the calls because obviously this one's stamped. There's not another one like it, especially around me. But I don't know, man. That's a tough question. I truly don't know the answer because I just openly, my arms were open from the moment I walked into the group. No matter where I went, you're going to have some people that are standoffish. You're purist. Obviously there's nothing pure about my bus. I mean, it has the right bumper on it, you know, but no, man, I don't
What's
know
up?
that I have a good answer for it. It's just,
I think it's a mix of things. I think
yeah.
it's the struggle of keeping them alive. It's the personality of the people that these cars attract. The old bumper sticker, they say birds of a feather flock together. And I think that's kind of true because even though, like you had mentioned a few minutes ago, there are so many different walks of life in this community. There's from, brain surgeons all the way down to, Jiffy Lube guys that vacuum out cars for a living, right? Like, I mean, the walks of life are so drastic between the people, but we all have that same common bond, which is, bonding over these older classic cars. It's really just a unique thing. And, I don't know if somebody asked me that question and I'd be able to answer it really clearly either. It's just something, and I think we
You
can
know,
probably, land on that.
yeah, even the new ones. I mean, if you know, I always tease people that aren't into Volkswagen. I'm like, yeah, there goes a wet dub, or there goes a wet car, and they're like, what are you talking about? Well, I mean, and not all wets are young kids. I mean, I know a lot of people that do both, and I know the multiples that drive old air cool that are driving new Volkswagens. That's all they've ever owned is a Volkswagen. Once
Right.
that's in their blood,
Yeah.
it stays there for life.
Yeah.
And they can hurt you. I've been single for 12 years, and everybody's like, well, how come you haven't got remarried? I have my own love-hate relationship with that bus. We love each other and we hate each other, and she proves it to me all the time, and I prove it to her. So,
Yeah, that's awesome. So let's talk about the scene there in Tulsa. Um, just going through your timeline, and kind of what you have created there. You step into this Tulsa Volkswagen scene when you first get into it. I think you kind of noticed that it was fading out. What kind of goes through your mind when you're seeing that at first?
sad. So when I first come in 2000, I think 2015 was my first Tulsa show, and there was a Tulsa Volkswagen Club, or the club Volkswagen Club of Tulsa, and pretty strong community. You look back at the history of it, and they did a good show every year. They got with the local dealership. We have one Volkswagen dealership in Tulsa. We get with them. They would do cookouts and cruises. There was another group, the third Thursday of every month, met at a local pizza place, did a little cruise through town. That community was going great. Went to a show. Come to find out, I mean, they literally announced that pretty much that the group is not banishing, but they're slowing down. And it's one of those, and I say this, and anybody that watches it, especially from my community, I don't want to offend, but they were aging out.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't even their age. It's not that they were too old. They'd been doing it for a long time. The same people are putting on a show every year. And if you've ever put on a show, you know that unfortunately a lot of people have opinions, but a lot of them don't step up and help. And I think at that point, the ones that had been doing it for a long time had run their realm, and the show had stopped. And we were still doing little cruises, and there was little meets, and there's multiple different groups that still get together in Tulsa, and they do their little things, and I love it. And I've got to be part of a lot of the different ones over the last decade. But as far as one big show in the Tulsa area, the one that happened every year, was done. I mean, plenty of car shows, of course, like every community, there's a car show every weekend.
Sure, right.
But Volkswagen dedicated,
Right.
there was no more. So I talked to the members of this club. I went to one of their meetings, and we discussed the possibility, anybody that would want to take over the club, get on the board and be part of it. And that wasn't me. I've been in different clubs over the years, and I've been with different organizations, and just wasn't something I was interested in. I said, but I'd be interested in doing a show with you guys' support. I need your backing. I mean, you guys are the glue that's held it together for decades. I don't want to be against nobody. I don't want to step on nobody's toes, but
Right.
I really think that I'd like to do a show. And that's kind of where, the old club and the new part of it kind of blended.
Now you've been
So
involved in nonprofits for years though, right? Where did that come from in your life?
I tell people all the time, the big part of it is I don't have a thick wallet. Um, I can't, I don't always have the money to give you. I want to help somebody. And some people, that's what they do. And that's what they appreciate to do. Because, I mean, bottom line, when you're doing an event, when you're doing anything, you're raising money to help. I didn't have that money to raise, but I've got time, and I had a strong back. Like I said, I joined a group years ago with cancersucks.com, and my buddy that founded the Oklahoma Firefighter Burn Camps, like, you got to come check this out. So I'd been doing nonprofits and helping with events between concerts, car shows, bike rallies, and stuff like that for 20 plus years, that I thought, man, I can take this on. And I got a handful of people stepped up and helped me. For sure, it's definitely not the job for one person. Every time somebody asks me, I want to do a show, what do you need to do? I was like, before you think of anything, you got to have a place. You can't, any event you got to do, I don't care what it is. I don't care if you're walking a dog, you got to have a place to walk the dog. So to have a good car show, you need a venue. You need a place for spectators. You need a place for cars. You need this and that. So I got with that group, started driving, and I'm driving down a road and I saw this park and I fell in love with it. Made some calls. City of Catoosa said, yeah, you can use it. It's all you. And that was 9 years ago. And they've blessed me. This park, the only thing that was happening in this park before we started the Port City Volkswagen show was a steam engine tractor show. Every year. That's it. And they would shoot off fireworks. It's on the Illinois River. It's on Route 66. One of the biggest attractions in Oklahoma, it's been around forever, is what they call the Blue Whale. It's famous for Route 66. It's a mile down the road. And this venue is humongous. I mean, I can put in, if it grew, it could hold 500 to 700 cars plus the spectators and everything else. Damn. So, and it's an open park. It's got trees. It's got everything there. So, yeah, that was the start of my adrenaline rush.
So no show existed. You start this show. Kind of walk me through, I guess, you're kind of telling me how it evolved now, but like kind of bring me from zero to full-blown event, because now it's 10 years strong, right?
This will be year 8 or 9.
8 or 9. Okay.
Year eight. So
okay. Still rocking. Give me maybe some of the biggest challenges early on.
Earliest one was, I did the first show. We had 170 cars registered from 5 states.
Let's go.
And I did it from the day we talked about it and I found the location. We did the show in 3 months. And we pulled it off. And it's one of those, the old Field of Dreams. You build it, they will come.
Right.
There was nothing else. Oklahoma City has some great shows. There's a group down there that puts on 3 shows a year. That they're big, they're good, they're great shows. And but in the 918 up here, that was it. So we built it. They came, and that first year it rained something fierce. Oklahoma has 4 seasons a day, not summer, spring, winter. You wake up here and it's 40 degrees. By lunch, it's 90, and it's raining at supper time. So it rained, but it worked. And then, of course, the next year, COVID hit. So as well as I do, 1 year show, if I didn't have it that second year, it's dead.
That's actually how 4 of our shows that we took over, that me and my buddy Alan run now through Salty Dub. That's the only reason we were granted that opportunity, was through COVID. The shows kind of dissipated, turned into nothing. And then it was so hard to get them going again. A couple of the guys, like you had mentioned, the age out type thing, they didn't have the energy anymore to pick up and keep going, begging sponsors and, organizing all this stuff because of COVID. So we obviously stepped in, like you said, might not have had the deepest pockets, but we have pretty strong community and pretty strong ties. So we were like, hang on a second. Like, if this whole, the Skyway thing's going to go away, like, hold on. This sounds cool. Let's keep it going. I can get involved and start helping do XYZ. And dude, the first year we did it was the 25th ride, was 2024. We had 440 cars show up. Oh my God. The line was over 2 miles long, bumper to bumper, coming over the bridge at one point. It was insane. It was insane completely. We've yet to be able to break that. This was last Sunday was the 27th annual. Again, just under 200 cars. But yeah, man. I know that feeling, and I'm kind of vibing with what with the whole COVID thing and what you're talking about. Tell us this. Fast forward to now, 8 years, 9 years running. What makes your show different?
I'd love to say, I mean, it's tough. I don't see it as different. Um,
Okay, fair
I know
enough.
you had Kurt on your show from up north. He was always the guy that came to my show and helped me, in the
Buggerama.
beginning, Buggerama,
Yeah.
getting ready to come up.
Yeah, he's a great
The,
dude.
yeah, I had the Bumgarners from Oklahoma City. I
Yeah.
had the guys from Eureka. I
Yeah.
got a buddy from St. Louis. There's a lady from Springfield, Missouri. These are all people that put on shows. I started calling. My biggest thing, going back to the golden rule, you treat others as you want to be treated.
Sure.
I called everybody. I wanted to make sure I never stepped on anyone's feet. I wasn't going to do, I mean, that right there, those people I just talked about are all within 3 hours of my house in my show. And I didn't want to do anything that was going to take away from anybody else.
Right.
My goal was, it's a community. I grew up around bikers and cultures where if you're wearing this color, you can't be around this color.
Right.
Well, and I've been to the shows where, the purist isn't going to go look at this car because, it's a great car, but man, those headlights are off of a 1968, not a 1960. Well, so going to my show, and the one thing that does make it different that I know of is that there's no classes. The only class, every car show you go to, if you've put on car shows, one of the hardest deals is, how am I going to break down my classes? What trophies are we going to have? You can go crazy. You could have 500 trophies,
Right.
3 in each class. We created the first year what we call the Fab 15, the Fabulous 15.
Yes.
So the Fabulous 15 is our trophies. Awards, I call them different all the time. I get tongue-tied on what we're going to do. The first year was literally a piece of paper that said Fab 15. I framed them, and there was 15 of them. We passed them out. And what we did is I picked 15 random people. Well, I picked 14 random people because I try to pick one car. I don't always, but I pick a B. So you come to my show. I may not even know you, but I notice that you're talking to everybody. You got an eye for Volkswagen. You love it. I walk up, I give you this piece of paper, and I go, do me a favor. Pick your favorite car. And on this bottom down here, write why you picked it. And it could be anything. So one of them, this right here, was a trophy. It's a cutting board. That is my logo.
Heck,
It's a usable cutting board.
that looks dope.
Yeah. And this was the trophy. 15 of them. All the trophies are the same. And the guy picked this. It's my favorite one. I always tell this story. I get up on stage and I'm like, the next winner is a guy named Andy Malloy. He's from St. Joseph, Missouri. And he won this because the guy said the cutting board would match the inside of his bus. And that's why I won it. It's not because it was the earliest. It's not because it was the cleanest. It's because they vibed with it.
Yeah, man.
It was theirs.
Love that.
And I always give some kids a choice in this and that. And I push for groups, clubs, sponsors, you as an individual. If you want to make a trophy and you want to bring it and you want to honor the earliest Beetle here or the longest trip, the normal ones, that's great. But as far as Port City goes and passing out awards for cars, we do the Fab 15 is flat it.
I love the
And
idea. That's actually really, really, really cool. I mean, we have regular classes with our car show, best paint, best interior, best
yeah,
engine, right? But we also have people's choice. And the way that we pick people's choice is not your average way, right? This time you might know a guy, you might see him on Instagram. I think it's Dave Bronin, the Crust Bus.
yeah.
Have you seen him making his
Oh yeah.
round? He's from California. He just came to the Skyway ride and he was there. He won people's choice because yeah, man, it wasn't just the distance, it's also the story that comes along with that. Not only did he grace us by coming, but how cool to have a dude, in a mid 60s, split bus, all crusted up, drive
Oh
that to
yeah.
California, and he's making thousands of miles all over the country. I mean, he was just down in Key West the weekend before he had come up to the Tampa Bay area. So I mean, that's, you win some award for that type of effort for sure around our show.
Well, and that's like, didn't you have Leo Vandell on?
I did.
So Leo's that way.
Super cool guy.
Leo is the man. I
Yeah.
mean, so he's from here. He's from Tulsa.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
he has saved me on a cruise. I had a wheel spin out on me, and he goes, "Oh, I got one. I'll be back in 10 minutes." We fixed my wheel and we finished the cruise.
Oh
But
man, he's
that's
a
what it's
great
like.
guy.
Yeah, and now it's become the running joke. It's what my trophy is going to be this year or this year. So 2 years ago, this is a full electric guitar, 3 strings.
Dude, look at that.
I gave out 15 of them.
That is
All
so cool,
Volkswagen deal. I
dude.
gave out custom toolboxes. Last year was Bluetooth speakers made out of vintage luggage. And this year, I haven't even announced yet. So this year is the 100-year anniversary of Route 66. And Oklahoma is celebrating during June. Just so happens to be that when my show starts. My theme, I always do a little theme every year. This year, it's Route 66 and drive-ins. So Friday night, we're doing a full drive-in. I'm bringing out a 30-foot screen. We camp out on the show site. We're doing movies. But this year, my award is old Bluetooth. I'm turning the old speakers from a drive-in into Bluetooth speakers. So I'll
Sick.
have 15 of them on custom stands.
I've seen there's one guy locally here that comes to some shows in a Volkswagen thing, and he has one of those old
Yeah.
driving speakers that he hangs off of his car, and it's a Bluetooth speaker. And dude, I've jonesed over it every time I see it. I'm like, dude, how'd you do that? Like I've never really wanted to bring it up or talk about it, but now you show me that, I'm like, oh, cool. So you can make one. Dope.
Yep. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a weird deal because it's dual. Cool. It's an e-trophy, but it's also a prop. So now it's on your car, it's on your
Yeah.
bus, it's on your Beetle, and
Yeah.
you see the Port City logo, and somebody asks, "What is that?"
Yeah, sweet.
And I'm promoting without even trying to promote. So,
Branding.
yep, it's all
Yeah.
about it.
Tell us about the burn camp, Oklahoma Firefighters Burn Camp. I know you touched on it just a little bit, but just tell me what this camp actually does for kids.
Okay, a gentleman named Scotty Stokes founded it in 1999. He was a Tulsa firefighter. He had went over to Fayetteville, Arkansas to be a firefighter, and there was a camp over there. It's a camp for kids to go to. The deal is to go and not be judged. You get to go there as a kid that's been burned or disfigured, and you're with your peers. You're with other people that have similar situations in life, and you can talk to. Well, Scotty took a group of kids over there. The next year, he took more kids over there, and by the third year, they're like, "You got more. You're bringing more kids over here than we have in the camp. You need to have your own camp." So a gentleman here in Tulsa said, "Look, come out to my church camp area. We'll give it to you. The kids can come and you can use it." That was in 1999, and we're still going strong. So like I said, it's a burn. You're either burned or disfigured. We've got everything from, some small scars that are, a hand or stuff you don't even see, to we've got kids that have been 90% of their body has been burned in house fires, cars.
Wow.
It's the ones you can't help it. You walk down the street, and you see somebody and you don't know whether you can ask what happened, or you
Right.
feel bad or whatever you are. Well, and those kids are feeling the same way. They get to a point where, if somebody's looking at them, and a lot of kids don't have the PTSD from it, the after effects, not only physically but mentally. The camp has been there for them. It's a family. It's a life. With us doing it so long, so once you become 16, is your last year as a camper. 17, you usually go into a partnership with a mentor, and at 17, 18, you start being a counselor. Now you're mentoring another kid that's went through the same thing as you. And we give these kids, we pass out scholarships every year to 2 or 3 kids out of the camp that are trying to better their life, whether it's trade school, college, whatever it is.
Dude, man.
We Every kid that comes to camp will never pay ever. Any counselor, nurse, doctor, anyone that comes to camp never pays a penny out of their pocket. Events like this, mostly private donors. This weekend is our biggest event of the year. We have an MMA fight that has blown up over the last decade. It's cops versus firefighters. We're the biggest one in the nation. It's streamed live. You have to be a firefighter, have to be a cop. The cops are fighting for Special Olympics. The firefighters are fighting for burn camp.
Come
And
on, man. I love it, dude.
The way they split it, so they say this weekend, I think there's 12 bouts. If the firefighters win 7 of the 12 bouts, they get 60% of the profit, and then the other gets 40. So everyone comes out ahead.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's $150,000 event.
Dude.
So that would pay for so much. And it's crazy because I mean, some of these guys look like me and you strapping on a ring and getting in a ring, old Joe Blow from now, don't get me wrong, most of these guys are in pretty good shape, but once a year what happens in our big auditorium in Tulsa, the BOK Center, and there's probably 20,000 people show up to watch.
Holy shit, dude. I mean, I'm a huge fight fan. Whole life I've been a UFC fan since the 90s, since the no glove days, now
Yeah.
Knuckles actually, coming up. My oldest son, he's 18. He grew up in MMA, doing karate and all that stuff, and then got into boxing. He's Golden Glove boxer, fighter, he's starting to take a back seat on now and wants to go to college and stop getting punched in the face, which I'm completely fine with. But here's the point why I brought that up. If you've seen some of the posts on the Facebook page, the podcast actually has a championship belt that I made because when I go to all the local shows around here, any guys that I have come on, as guests, you guys are the podcast champions. So I always put the belt on your shoulder and I take a picture with, my backdrop behind you because man, that's what this podcast is about, is celebrating, the guys that live the dub life. So it's just cool to hear that about,
Yeah.
the fight stuff you guys put on because my belt would go over well there.
Oh yeah. So it's become cool deal. I mean, people know what it is. They know that 100% of this car show goes to the camp.
I mean,
I start raising money.
absolutely.
And
It's such a cool thing, man, that you're changing lives like this through, a dub show, through a Volkswagen event. I mean, come on, let's go. That's why you're here. That's why we're spending this time together. I think it's so awesome. You're a great person, man. How cool. How cool.
well, it's even like this. My goal is, say somebody watches this, somebody in this tri-state area over here, and they know somebody, some kid that had been burned. They're more than welcome to reach out, contact me, get to you, get my number, and we'll get that kid to camp. That's always my goal. If I can reach one person, not only financially, of course, that obviously it helps, get the cost so nobody's got to pay, but the deal is being able, because of HIPAA laws, we can't go to a hospital and say, look, we need to get a hold of anybody that's been burnt this year. It's tough to get the word out there.
Sure.
I mean, we do these different events and we go to little things and we pass it out, fire stations, but it's just one of those, like I said, I got a golf tournament next weekend. I got the car show coming up.
It's all about getting the word out. Yeah. All about
I love it.
Out. Yeah,
And
that's
the
fantastic.
car show is known now for burn camp. It's just part of it. My biggest sponsors are individuals. I've got a couple corporate. I'm bad about it. I'm the guy that's going to shake your hand, and I feel bad asking for money.
See, I'm the opposite. I don't feel bad at all asking for money because it's not coming to me. I'm
sure
doing something in the community, to put on for the community, more or less to put on for the whole Volkswagen community. I don't feel bad at all asking for money, but here's the thing. Sponsors are the hardest thing for me to tackle.
Yeah.
Hardest thing for me to tackle. I've got a few guys locally, that are pretty regular in their effort, pretty regular in donating. Awesome, that we can create that, and awesome for them that they see the value in it. But it's not as easy as a lot of people think, to put on these shows. uh, we have one show called V Dubs on the Pier, and this isn't about me, but I'm just bringing this up because I know you understand the struggle. V Dubs on the Pier, we have to get all, jump through hoops of the city and pull a permit and pay the city for the venue space. Just for the police in the morning from 7 to 9 a.m., where we have the parade, is $10,000 to shut the road down. Okay. Bro, I don't have that kind of money. Right. So everybody's like, oh, you guys are charging $50 or $30 or $10 or whatever you're charging. And it's like, well, yeah. Wait. So here's what we're doing. We're hoping that the more people come, the less it'll get for everybody. If I can count on 250 people coming, 300, 350 people coming, it gets cheaper for everybody because we got to cover that nut. I'm not going to just cover that nut, right? And let everybody come for free, right? So again, it turns into this whole community thing. Well, then other people see that effort and they're like, "No, we'll donate. We'll donate. We'll donate." And that's how you kind of create this ability to do shows. We haven't even scratched the surface yet of doing things like what you're doing. Now, we do some donations. Like I said, we work with, animals, SPCA, that type of stuff, but we're not into it like this yet. I would love to be though, and I love hearing. I get so much motivation. Bugorama is all about the veterans, and what a cool thing, right? To have that too. Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna find our niche eventually as well, and I can't wait to raise a whole bunch of money and donate it. It's gonna make me feel so awesome because that's what this is all about, dude. Is putting on for the community, right? Yeah,
Well,
man.
it's that community, like you said. So it gets me. I think that last year our trophies were custom lantern boxes. I gave out 15 vintage Coleman lanterns. We
Yeah.
made custom boxes. I didn't know where I was going to come up with 15 decent because it's got to be usable, nice lanterns, right?
Right.
I'm at Havasu. I'm out there at Havasu at Buses by the Bridge, and there's a guy that's got a bunch of lanterns. And I go to talk about him about let's cut a deal. And I look over and his license plate's Oklahoma. I'm like, are you from Oklahoma? Did you get a car? Here we are in Havasu. And he said, no, I'm from Guthrie. I'm like, well, I'm from Tulsa. And I'm like, look, this is what I want to do. And he goes, pick 15 lanterns, they're yours. Take them. He picked 15 and I grab one. He goes, man, that's not good enough. Pick this one. And he goes, that one doesn't have glass. Get with me in a couple of weeks and I'll get you the glass for
Wow.
it. What would have been, if I'm lucky, at $25-$30 a lantern, I got for free.
Yeah.
And then I have a local company that loves the idea of these trophies, and I go to him every year. It's a guy named at Arrowhead Trucking. Has nothing to do with Volkswagen. His mechanic, the guy in charge of his shop, is my go-to guy. He's got that garage that you like. You go in and there's, a 23, a 13 Deluxe, a single cab. His first,
Yeah.
he's become one of my good friends. He's one of my go-to. Adam is that if I need something, and he's the hardcore mechanic. He doesn't sit down and fix it for me. He makes me do it so I can learn it. But it's because of them we get to do. I get to do these cool trophies
Heck
because
yeah, dude.
I spend $2,000 on trophies, and by getting all these sponsors, the day of my show, I don't charge anything for anything. We give out free barbecue. My brother cooks. We $25 get you into the car show, get you a free shirt, get you stickers,
That
get you
motivates me.
everything.
That motivates me. That's where I
Yeah.
want my shows to eventually be. I want to arrive at, nah, it's free. Everything's
Yeah.
free. Food's free. This is free. That's free. Everything's free. Car show entries free. I would like for all that to happen. It can't yet because right now we got to split this pretty large nut, especially covering the
Oh,
city and the police and everything else. But that's honestly, it motivates me. It motivates me to hear that because that's where I want to go. Alan got a great heart too. My partner in Salty Dub, we both feel the same way, man. We don't do this for money. I haven't. We've been running Salty Dub for a couple of years now. It loses money,
yeah.
right? We're not in this for the money, dude. I work, he works. He's got a business, I got a business. We don't do it. We do it for community. We do it for the feeling that it gives the community, the smiles that it puts on everybody's faces. That's just awesome. I love
Yeah.
hearing it. You got the same heart.
Yeah. That's the thing about it. And I tell people, so there's donation jars everywhere. You put in money, My mom was a single mom most for life, raised me and my brother. And there's no way a single mom, even in this day and age, could walk up to a food truck and afford to pay. If you ain't got a good job, you can't afford it. It's $40 at a food truck.
Right. Or more.
But
Shit.
yeah, but there ain't no telling. I get a guy that'll come up and grab a hot dog and drop $100 bill in,
Yeah,
you
man.
know,
Yeah.
and I don't, my brother cooks and I'm blessed to have, the family with me, but if he sees that kid walk back 3 or 4 times, he's going to make a plate and go over and hand it to him. And anybody that's with our group, that's what they do.
Yeah, man.
That's what I love about it. I
So,
mean,
so
there's
good.
water jugs everywhere. Everything there is just help yourself. And people don't understand because there's not enough of it. And like I said, it's almost impossible to do. If it wasn't for the 20 people that are helping me financially or however many, and then the community to step in, because I look over and I've got, 3 people picking up the trash out of a trash can, and they don't have to do that, but they know that there's no one else going to do it. So they're going to do it because that's part of the community, and that's what we do. We help one another. So
Describe the VW community for me in just one word.
for me, it's family.
Yeah, man.
I had a great mom. My dad was there most of the time. I had a stepdad and my dad, but the one thing they all had in common, I don't know, no grandmas, no grandpas, no uncles, no aunts. My family's always been, I got my brother, but my family's been friends. And for a Volkswagen community that doesn't know me and that allows me, I get random people send me checks. I need just to go to the camp. I want to sponsor 2 kids this year.
Mm.
And I got a call not too long ago. What do you need me to do this year? Well, my number's all over everything. I didn't know who these people were. Well, I met you last year at the show. You probably don't remember me, but I met you. You made a big appearance. You made a big, strong commitment on me. I'm coming back this year. I'm bringing 10 more people from Texas. We're coming up. We're going to camp for the weekend. And yeah, man. And I know family means different things to different people. But family to me is that person that's going to be there for you when you're low. They're going to help you up, and when you're high, they're going to pat you on the back. And
yeah.
that's what I've been blessed with. My car breaks down. There's a guy in my community. I was broke down. Eureka Springs was 3 weeks away. He goes, I've got a single port 1600 in my shop. Come get it. Put it in your bus. And I'm like, okay, dude, what do you owe me? No, I don't want it. I upgraded. It's my extra. It's yours. You take it.
Come on, man.
But I know not everyone has the same experiences in life. That's for sure. But I've been blessed enough to, the negativity in the Volkswagen community, if I've met 3,000 people in the Volkswagen community over the last decade, I may have had 3 bad experiences.
Yeah.
And I don't believe it had anything to do with Volkswagen. And I don't have anything it did with me talking to you. It was because, something outside.
Yeah, it's your 1% rule. It's it. It's the same thing with being a promoter and doing shows. You can't satisfy everybody. There's always that one guy or one girl or one child or one person or one animal or just one something. There's always one. Always.
Yeah. But the problem is I'm the guy that is hurt from that one.
Do you think
people that are happy, if I have one sad, I want to know why and how I can fix it.
Love that. That's your heart though, man. That's who you are as a person. Speaking on this though, do you think that the next generation of us, next generation of kids of the the younger generation, do you think they're going to carry this on? This whole Volkswagen thing that we know and love so much?
Not if we don't have the patience to help them and show them.
Yeah,
that's the key. I mean, that's the generation before me, even if they were younger. So to me, generation's not always an age. It's how long you've been. Like, I'm a new generation of Volkswagen, in my opinion, at 10 or 12 years.
Right, sure.
I'm so used to guys that have been in it for 30, 40, have rolled 1,000,000 miles on their buses. If there's a kid that is new, I get a call all the time. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for that. Let me make some calls. I want to show them that people are out there that want to help. And I'm not there to make the money. I don't want your money. I'm not trying to do anything like that. But yeah, in a generalization, it's tough to think it is. I told you I got a brand new granddaughter, 7 months old.
Yeah.
And one of the things that scares the holy weebie jeebies out of me is what life's going to be for her in 20 years.
Mm.
And all we can do if you've raised
Especially
kids,
now. Turn on
oh,
the
yeah,
turn on the damn TV and dude,
yeah, it's
I
scary.
carry it with me into going to sleep every night. I got five kids, and I have those same fears. No grandkids yet, but my daughter's 20. She's taking life pretty serious. She's graduated from cosmetology school. She's a licensed, Florida cosmetologist. She's board certified, whatever that passed their state board exam.
Congratulations. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which is awesome, right? She works in her career, works in a salon. She's starting to make money. She's talking about moving out. She's got a serious boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. I know it's coming, dude. And
Yeah.
I do. My wife and I, we have these conversations all the time. It's like, dang, like what? Number one, how the hell can they even afford to live here? Right? Like the rent,
Oh, yeah.
like is we own a real estate company, my wife and I, and we're privileged and blessed to be able to do what we do and even be able to afford, a mortgage or rent in this area. We live in paradise, a tropical paradise. But dude, I really like, unless my kids are doctors or lawyers, like, dude, I'm worried about them.
Yeah.
How are y'all going to be able to afford this lifestyle? It's like, man, I do think about it. But back to, it's not about me. Back to you. I want to hear this about you. All this disappears. Everything that you're doing right now, it all disappears tomorrow. What are you most proud of?
Strictly Volkswagen, strictly the Port City Volkswagen show. It's done. I can't do it anymore. Nobody else wants to take it over. It's finished. I think the thing I'm most proud of is the hugs, the the people that come out of the background when I'm in I'm in Havasu, New Mexico last year at Buses by the Bridge, and I look over and one of the show shirts is on a guy that's on the stage giving out a trophy across the country. And he's like, I came with a friend. And he goes, just to see your show, and I fell in love with it enough to buy a shirt, and I'm going to come next year. And he didn't even know what it was about. He just, because of the way this show is, and it, but I love that people want to help. Um, People want to be my friend, you know, and they trust me enough to know that I'm not full of it and I'm really doing what I say I'm doing. I've done a lot of charity work. Man, I've been accused of a lot of things over the years with other charities. Like, is the money really going there?
Right.
I try to be as transparent as physically possible. And if you go on my online registration, that money goes straight into the Oklahoma Firefighter Burn Camp bank account. It doesn't go to me. It goes straight to them. I raise the money pre-hand and I put it in that bank account, and I have what I call my allowance, my big kid allowance. That allows me to buy my trophies, to buy the tents, to get the food, to get the stuff. But if it all goes away and I'm done, once again it goes back to that family word. The family that I have gained over 8 years of this show in 9 different states that have showed up and walked up and shook my hand and thanked me for putting it on. That's probably it when it comes to that. That's a tough one because when I'm all done, I'm the guy. It's funny. I'll be laying in the middle of this field of my car show. Everyone drives off except for the people camping Saturday, and they go looking for me. I'm up on stage. I just gave out trophies. I'm the guy with no shoes on, barefoot, passing out trophies. And then I go lay down in the middle of the field and I bawl hysterically
Oh,
because the love I just got from all these people, it's over. It actually happened, and Mother Nature didn't screw me. Nothing major happened. But and then what's crazy is to know that I'm doing the right thing. It takes me 10 minutes, and I'm wondering what I need to do different next year or what I need to do.
yeah, man.
It doesn't stop,
That's awesome.
and
That's your heart.
yeah, but it's my heart could be sour if it wasn't for other people, holding on to it and giving me the support to make it happen. I mean, if no one else was there, one person, you can't carry it.
No,
I mean, they always say it takes a community, and it does. You
takes
gotta have
takes a
the
village.
community.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah. Where do
not counting
people
people that
where
have
do
to
people
show up.
find you? Where do they find the show? Where do they find you? How do they get in touch with you? Those are their listening to this podcast, watching it on YouTube. They like what they hear. How do they find you?
Go to Port City Volkswagen Show on Facebook. The website, I got a website, Port City VW Car Show or Port City Volkswagen Show.
Dot
If
com.
you Google Port City Volkswagen Show, you're going to find it. There's going to be ultimate links. It's on Instagram. It's on Facebook. It's got its own site. But first Saturday in June every year.
Okay.
So we've like I said, we reached out to all the other shows, and so we don't step on each other's feet. We kind of set weekends. There's Springfield, which is 3 hours away, does a show the following weekend. So, yep, that first Saturday in June every year. And we're trying to turn it into a 3-day weekend. People start showing up Thursday. Most car shows, you laugh. People show up at like 8 in the morning, 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning. No, my people show up Thursday night and start camping in the park. And the show. So at my show, when you're camping, you don't pick up campsite. That's part of the show. People walk to your camp. I've seen people stop and take coffee that are just spectators, So, yep, Port City Volkswagen Show, Catoosa, Oklahoma.
Awesome, man. All right. I got some rapid fire questions for you. These are questions that demand a fast response. However, if a story comes of it, like I always say, let's rock and roll. Don't think you can't tell any stories. You certainly can. But these questions are designed to be answered. First thing that comes to mind. You ready for them?
Try.
All right, let's get it. First one. Air cooled or water cooled?
Air.
All right.
Easy.
Split window or bay window?
I weigh 300 pounds, bay window.
That's so funny. I hear that, right? I always hear the bay's the Cadillac of the buses, right?
Yeah.
All right. Dream VW that you don't own yet.
I'm a weird one. 1971 Westphalia. My birth year, first year, disc brakes on the front, but it's still stand up Type 1 engine.
Yeah, still also considered the early bay. Yeah.
Early. Yep, that's my dream.
Okay. Awkward question for you, but I always get a response here. Most overrated VW of all time. Overrated.
Personal opinion only. And I'll be ridiculed by some of my closest friends. Split window bus.
Hey, man, you ain't alone. A lot of people I ask that question too. They answer it the same way. And I think it's for multiple reasons, but the two most that I hear, I don't even have to hear your reasoning. The two most I hear are the price tag that they've gotten to over time, especially at Barrett Jackson and these other auction houses, and the comfort. If you're over 6'2", and you're over, whatever, you gotta lean down it. So yeah, it's always comfort and it's always the price.
No, mine's because I'm 300 pounds and you can't go to a drive-through window and get food because there's no window. So those are my two biggest reasons, man.
Okay, man. Hey, that's good enough. All right, how about this then? How about this? Opposite end of the spectrum. Most underrated VW of all time. Underrated.
Go to my favorite. They're in your back window. They're the bay window bus. A lot of people, it's not the stereotype, but it's the ugly girl from high school. You didn't want to be seen with her, but you love being with her, You cut that out altogether.
That is absolutely awesome. That's so well said. That's great, dude. What a comment. Okay. How about this one? One tool that you can't live without.
With mine, because I've had electrical problems, is a jump pack.
Ooh, good answer. Yeah, good answer.
I've had electrical problems with my bus most of my life with it. So being able to jump start it has been a go-to.
Best road trip snack.
I do the same thing every time. Beef jerky. I do beef jerky, a whatchamacallit candy bar.
Ooh, I love those.
Those are my two go-to have to have snacks.
Okay. I like it. Okay. How about this? If somebody's listening right now and they might be on the edge of starting something, maybe even starting their own Volkswagen car show, maybe starting a fundraiser, maybe, get stimulated from hearing about the burn camp and they want to start something. If they're on the fence though, and they haven't done anything about it, what advice would you give them?
At the end of time, I tell my kids especially, you want to be able to say that I've been there and done that, not that I wish that I had. So do it. Failure sucks. I'm not going to lie. We've all failed at something in life, but I would rather try and fail than to not try at all. So just do it. I mean, the old Nike saying, but, try to find someone that you trust to have your back and just attempt it. I don't know. I feel that I spend everything and I do it halfway. It's what it feels like to me all the time. I always do a big verbal talk, as you've learned over the last hour or whatever. I word vomit, as I call it, all the time. I get nervous, I talk, and and I wonder what the hell I said. So, man, just don't be afraid. If you have the thought, find somebody to help you. If you don't want to do it yourself, be that silent partner and find somebody that'll stand up and do it with you. But somebody out there needs you as much as you need them. So be there for them as much as you can.
Awesome, man. You're an incredible guy. This has been an incredible conversation. You're not just building the bus behind you. You're building something a lot bigger, a community, and you're giving back, and you're just such a special guy, man. I really appreciate your time. And that's a wrap for this episode of DubLife Diaries. Thanks for riding along with us and diving into these incredible stories of the people in the dubs that drive their dreams. If you love today's episode, don't forget to subscribe or hit that follow button so you never miss an adventure. Do you have a story to tell or know somebody else who's living the dub life? Awesome! Reach out to us. You can find us on all socials at DubLife Diaries or shoot me an email. I'm not hard to find. DubLifeDiaries@gmail.com. Until next time, keep the engines humming and the wheels turning, and always follow the road that inspires you. This is Joe Person. I'm signing off. I'll catch you on the next ride.